Alrighty, guys, I got to get situated for this one because let me tell you, we had a pretty rough, very rough red day in the stock market. And you guessed it, come on red days, what do we do? What do we do, guys? We buy more stocks. And in this video, we're going to cover 3 stocks that I bought more of today. Not new investments. I didn't open any new positions, but I want to go over what I'm buying right now in this market as well. Again, we had a rough red day. The VIX is up over, 20 points now. And when that happens, I view it as an opportunity. So let's dive into it. And just because I'm buying these stocks, let's get this out there right now. Just because I'm buying these doesn't mean that you should go out there and buy them. In fact, you got to do your own research, and I wouldn't buy any stock that anybody's talking about, without doing my own research first. So I'm not telling you guys to go buy these. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm buying with my money that I'm putting at risk, So I wouldn't buy any stock if I don't know what I'm doing, or, if I don't know the risk I'm taking, rather. Food for thought, right? So let's dive into it. Number 1, and by the way, guys, hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe if you guys find value. You don't have to, obviously, but number 1 is Meta Platforms. So in my opinion, when it comes to large cap, tech, big tech, this is the easiest buy out there. It's not the best value in the whole stock market. I'm not going to say that because I haven't researched every stock out there. But in terms of big tech, this is a no-brainer, right? They're growing revenues by 25, 30% a year. I think 27% as of the recent earnings. They're obviously ridiculously profitable, and there is some concern around CapEx, how much they're spending when it comes to AI, Reality Labs, right? I saw a tweet today. It's like if Meta just dropped Reality Labs, the stock would go up like 20%. It might, honestly, it might, but there is some concern there. But at this valuation, guys, it's just a no-brainer. I think the valuation trumps that concern because they're currently trading at 20 times forward earnings, which is insane in my opinion. And it could go lower, right? The stock could go lower. That valuation could get even better. And for how much they're growing, they're definitely the highest growing big tech stock. I guess if you're not including Nvidia, it's insanely undervalued. It's a great deal, right? In a market especially where we're pretty much near all-time highs. Well, I guess now we're selling off a little bit, but I've been buying Meta. You guys know that ever since the stock dumped after earnings. I think I first started buying at about 670-ish, and I've been buying all the way down. Now my average is roughly 640, 50 range, and I'm well aware of this gap right here. So look at this gap right here, guys, on Meta. Back in April, we hit about 465, 470. We double bottomed at that point. Then we rebounded. So there is a chance Meta slips under $600 and it touches into the 500s. There's a decent chance it starts to fill this gap down right here, right towards 475, 500. So I'm keeping some dry powder for that. There's a chance it gets down to 500. It fills this gap down. And if it does that, which honestly, I don't think it's going to get to $500 flat. But if it does, I'll be loading up. The valuation there would be even better. A whole nother $100 a share lower. So I bought more today at 606, I believe. So I'm going to hold off for now until it gets, if it even gets, to the 550, 575 range. That's the next spot where I'm looking to add more Meta stock if it gets there. And again, if it gets to the low 500s, I'll go even bigger there. So I love the valuation here. I like the company. I've owned Meta before. It's not like one of these stocks that I've avoided. I used to own it years ago, sold out of it, made a good profit. And I haven't been in it in a while. So now is the first time where I'm like, oh, it looks like a pretty good entry to get back in. So I did exactly that. I'm back in. So I'm in Meta, adding more to that, and I'm planning on buying more on this, if it starts to fill the gap down to those April lows. And I also bought more VTI, which is just simply a an ETF that tracks all the US stocks out there, large cap, mid cap, small cap. You guys know VTI. No need to go too deep into this one, but I added more. I do this pretty much every week. If I miss a week, it's bi-weekly. I'm essentially always buying VTI month in, month out, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly. It kind of depends. The way I run my different accounts, guys, especially my long-term investments, it's like, if I like some individual stocks that week better than VTI, like this week, for example, or last week, I don't think I bought VTI, but I bought more Meta. I bought more, some different stocks. So if I like an individual stock's value in that particular week or that month, I will focus on adding that stock over the ETF. But let's say I'm not loving any of the, values of the stocks I own, the individual stocks I own. I'm not going to add to those. I'll just buy the index. I'll throw some money in the index. That's the way I do it. But pretty much I'm investing, in VTI pretty much every week. And honestly, I should automate VTI to just buy a certain amount every week. I'm thinking about doing that. I used to do it. I go on and off with that, and sometimes I'm buying more individual stocks and I put VTI on the back burner, but I always keep it in the portfolio, guys. And today I bought more VTI. And last but not least, another stock, the last stock that I bought today, well, I guess VTI is an ETF technically, right, guys? So it's not a stock. Don't hammer me in the comments for that. But I bought more DeFi technologies. And before you're like, Stas, what are you doing? The stock's crashing. I get that. Listen. This stock is beaten up for a specific reason. And they have earnings tomorrow in the morning, right? And they have the earnings call at noon on the East Coast. And this stock is falling, well, for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the market's tanking. This is a speculative stock. It's a small cap, high beta, right? High growth. So these kind of stocks get hit in an environment like this. That's number one. Number two, crypto is falling. The entire market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you name it, all these are falling right now. That's not helping DeFi. And another thing is we haven't had the best clarity from management when it comes to DeFi technologies. We're going to get their earnings tomorrow, but there hasn't been much clarity since the $100 million direct offering we got news of in the end of September, which is what, a month and a half ago? You know what I mean? And this has been a big concern from investors. I don't know about you guys, but I track the X community on, Twitter, X, whatever, on DeFi technologies. I track the different tickers on X to kind of see what's going on. And a lot of people are saying, and I agree with this, that management's kind of leaving some investors in the dark with what they're doing with, the $100 million direct offering, how the business is progressing and so forth. And when it comes to small cap companies, right, this is huge. We want clarity. We want to know more, obviously, and we just haven't really gotten that the last month from the management team. So that's another reason why the stock is falling. It's not just because, crypto's down, the market's down in general. That's a big part of it, huge part of it. But it's also because, the management team, not that they're doing anything shady, right? I don't think anything shady is going on. Let me make that clear. It's just that they're not telling us exactly, which I guess they're waiting for that earnings call tomorrow. We need to get more insight, right? How are the different businesses doing within the business? You know what I mean? What are they doing with this money? And I genuinely believe if we get good clarity, more clarity out of that earnings call, if we get good numbers tomorrow morning, this is the type of stock that could snap back aggressively towards $2. I'm not saying it's going to do it for sure. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I bought more shares today at $1.46 to bring my basis down even more. Now my basis is at, I think like $1.85. The reason I did this is because, like I said, this stock's almost artificially being, pushed down because of the lack of clarity for management, essentially. I think that is holding the stock down. And once we get more clarity from the CEO, you know what I mean? Once we get more from that call tomorrow, I think there's a decent chance we snap back. Now, if their earnings are awful, if the call is terrible, this could bleed more. I really hope that's not the case, though. I feel like this is a good company. It's bleeding so much. I don't want to say for no good reason, but it's totally reversible. It's totally a turnaround story at this point, that if the management team can just get their crap together, this could be a $2.50 stock like that. It's got the fundamentals behind it. We just got to get the ship back and moving a little bit better. And I think if that happens, we start to get more clarity there. A good, good quarter tomorrow, good guidance. That's going to be what the stock needs to really move. And don't ignore this one-off $47. I don't know what's going on here with the chart on Thinkorswim, but I mean, look, this stock used to be $4 or $5. If we look at the 3-year chart, this thing is approaching lows now from about a year ago, a little over a year ago. So we are very beaten up. I'm adding here, guys, and I think ultimately this could easily be a $3, $4, $5, $6 stock. Not for sure. It's not guaranteed, but I think that's where we're headed. Not too long, and not too long from where we are now. I think that could be where we're going. So those are the 3 that I'm buying. DeFi, right? Meta. I'm hammering Meta on the buy button, guys. Hammering Meta. And of course VTI. So what do you guys think? That's the update for now. I'm curious where your head's at. Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button. Feel free to subscribe. And if you're interested in my portfolio updates, my real-time updates, we post those every single week. I posted one earlier today. I posted one on Monday. Literally, whenever I'm doing anything in that portfolio, I post it on Patreon. There's a Discord as well. You get my charts and ideas throughout the week. Check it out. If you're interested, guys, link down below. Also, it's in the comments, or go to stassurfast.com/Patreon. I'll see you guys in there. And with that being said, have a great rest of your day.